Alright, so we are hot off of just finishing the first playthrough of Devil May Cry 5. And what better time before I start playing the game all over again to do a sort of quick review on the whole thing. So, for me personally, I've always been a big fan of the Devil May Cry series, but not like an obsessive fan. I never really played the games like multiple times or anything like that, but really enjoyed the times I did and the characters that were in them and everything between DMC 1 and 3 and even 4 to an extent. And after playing through all of them again recently, within like the little bit of time I had, we played through DMC 1 through 4. We did not end up playing DMC, Dino May Cry. I'd personally say after going back and revisiting a lot of the games, DMC 3 easily holds up the best. Easily holds up the best. But DMC 4 for half of that game is really fun, and DMC 1 is just so different than the rest that it's like this mix between survival horror and action in many ways, because it was a mix of Resident Evil and an action game. So, I'm not even going to mention 2. So within that, I kind of felt like DMC 1 was my favorite for a long time, but after replaying it again, DMC 3 is easily the best one, with the most convincing story, as well as the most focused action. And the mechanics are really good in that game. But after completing Devil May Cry 5, this is the best Devil May Cry game, without a doubt. And it takes a lot from... It does a lot for me personally, because it's taking elements and nods and gameplay aspects from previous Devil May Cry games and sort of just injecting it into this game with a huge syringe directly into your veins at times of just non-stop action. I honestly feel that this game is possibly... And I would even give, like, best action game ever before to games like Bayonetta because of, like, set pieces and stuff like that. And while Bayonetta 2 is a game that has great set pieces and crazy over-the-top action stuff, I think I like the combat more in Devil May Cry, or Devil May Cry 5 specifically. And DMC 5 is... It's kind of the epitome of what I love about video games. Like, one of the things I like the most about fighting games is fighting games that give the player a lot of tools, but isn't like overbearing, where you feel like you're sort of burdened by all the mechanics in the game and you're just trying to wrap your head around what the game can do and what the mechanics are. Usually if the mechanics are straightforward enough where they're just fun, you start to get ideas and you're like, oh man, I can do this into this, I can start messing around with that, oh shit, it leads into that, and that feeling is amazing, like, of discovery of like, oh, this works, maybe that'll work, oh my god, that works, oh shit, does this work? And that's honestly one of my favorite things about fighting games, much less video games in general. And Devil May Cry 5 knows this. Like, as an action game, it's like, I don't think anyone plays any action game like it's a fighting game, except people that play Devil May Cry games, specifically Devil May Cry 3, and especially Devil May Cry 4. To a lesser extent, DMC. But the level of, like, execution and finesse it takes to be really damn good at these games, and a deep understanding of the game's mechanics between, like, enemy stepping and, like, jump canceling and all the stuff that the game just gives you access to, it makes it very, very cool. It makes it cool to watch, it makes it interesting to see what leads to what, and that discovery stuff is just all there. So it's like the fighting game of action games, and it is brought to the 1000th degree in this game. Like, every character gets so much shit that they can do that it's just bonkers. And I'm not going to go into, like, every single little nitpick between what V does and Dante does and Nero does, because I'm sure you understand, anyone that's watching this, like, what those characters kind of do. Not going to go into specifics, but between every single character, the game just keeps giving you more, and then more. And then you get more, and then you can actually do more with that, and more with that, and then by the end of the game, your character has so many toys and tools. It's just fucking ballistic. It's insane how much stuff Dante specifically, and I think that's a great design philosophy, is that the whole point of Dante is that they want to show you how powerful Dante is, and the reason he's powerful is because he knows how to do so much. And they actually communicate that through gameplay, because Dante just gets access to so much stuff. He has 4 different stances, and then multiple weapons of his have multiple different versions of those weapons and different stances within the weapons. So it's like you're just multiplying things after things after things, and Dante is just the fucking kitchen sink of action games. He can do everything, and while that might feel like it's overwhelming at times, because it kind of is, if you just stick to one thing, you're good. Like, I'd say that's probably my only gripe with playing through the game, is that it felt like my characters were almost overpowered. Like, there was absolutely moments where I still died and didn't make it through things and had to make, decisions to retry or restart or use orbs or gold orbs or whatever. But Dante had so much stuff at his disposal, it was just like figuring out that puzzle, that combat puzzle of what to do. So, he's sick in this game. And then hitting EX axe with Nero feels so good, and having like narrowly dodge shit with V is amazingly fun. Every time I switch between character to character, I'm like, oh god, this character's so much fun. Oh my god, I forgot how much fun this character is. Oh Jesus, there's so much this guy can do. And you have to make that, like, that transition period. I feel like the only gripe I have critically with the game is that the base difficulty, the hardest difficulty the game gives you at the start, more difficulties obviously get unlocked, is kind of easy. It feels like the game sort of wants you to feel like a badass, so that when you go through it again, it's gonna get harder. It's gonna get a bit more difficult, and then even more difficult, and even more difficult. Which is kind of different than the previous design philosophy of Devil May Cry games, where the base difficulty is a little tough. But it's been a long time. It's been like 10 plus years since the last, like, tried and true Devil May Cry game. And I could see why they went for a slightly easier base mode difficulty. I wish there was like a hard mode that you can play at the start. I kinda do, but hard mode is genuinely different. Like, they put different enemies, like the enemy patterns change, and their attack patterns change, and all this shit is different. So it's not like a bullshit hard mode where you just get hit for more damage, and then your enemies just like slap you around a little bit different. It's actually a genuine hard mode, which is good. That feels like you're playing a different game when you're going through, and I can already tell you that's the case, because when you New Game Plus and this is the first mission, oh, there's a monster that doesn't show up for halfway through the game suddenly in the first mission, just like other Devil May Cry games. Either way, I really want to play more. Like, the tool set the characters have makes it so much fucking fun. Seeing them do stuff, and the personality of all the characters. There were so many moments in this game where I just broke down, like, emotionally. Where I, like, deeply feel that what is in this game is so much what I love about video games, that they fucking killed it. So many moments that are just ridiculously exciting, that are poignant to the music, and the music's just great through and through. There's nothing... I don't have any issues with any of the music. I guess, like, some traversal could be an issue that some people would have with the game, but I missed out on a whole bunch of stuff in my first playthrough. I really liked the environments that I was going through. I thought they were kind of neat. And for the most part, I'm struggling to find things that I don't like about the game. I'd say on, like, a personal level, if I was to give the game a critical review, it'd be like a 9 out of 10, but for me personally, it's like a 12. It's like a 12 out of 10, Capcom's back, praise the sun type shit. Like, I can't even imagine that I made it to the point where we got through those rough ass few years, almost 10 years, where Capcom was going through some weird ass shit, and things were not up to the standard that we kind of held Capcom for them to hold, like, a high standard to. And now with, like, RE2 in this game, like, they're killing it. Like, absolute dream come true. I never thought it would even ever be this good. And that's because not just, like, thematically and story-wise and quality and polish, like, the game has everything. Absolutely everything. And so many moments just are the reason I play video games in this game. And it doesn't come with, like, a backhanded element, like Asura's Wrath. Because I love Asura's Wrath, but there's a backhanded part of that game where all the ridiculously hyped stuff that happens comes at the cost of, like, the core gameplay of the game kind of sucks ass, and it's a QTE fest, a fun QTE fest, but it's a backhanded element, you know. It sort of ruins a lot of the experience of the game, and that isn't here at all with this game. Like, DMC5 is just it's the true package. It's like It's a video gamey-ass video game. It has parts that are going to reward you for high execution and leaves the barrier of entry pretty low that anyone can play, but the high barrier of entry for doing amazing-looking shit is there. And the way the game is so poignant with that high-level, like, crazy stuff and focusing on that action and making you feel like you're awesome for pulling shit off, I don't think there's anything like it in games. I really don't. I think this game is something special, man. And I didn't think I would be personally giving a Game of the Year to any other game but Resident Evil 2 at the start of 2019, and I actually would. Like, personally, I would say that Devil May Cry 5 is my Game of the Year. I would actually go on, outside of just thinking that it's the best Devil May Cry game, I would personally say this is one of the best Capcom games ever made. I am not joking on that. This game made me break down with how fucking awesome some of the moments were. And it wasn't because it was just a cool cutscene, you were playing that shit. Like, it was happening to you when you were playing. It's perfect. That's exactly what I want. I honestly think it's one of Capcom's best games ever made. So, I'm not telling you to buy it. I'm just saying that there's a reason a lot of people are talking about it right now. It's very fucking fun. And for all the... Dude, we just played through Devil May Cry 4, and I could barely make it through that game, man. Like, first half I thought DMC4 was fun, but my god, dude, at the end of playing Devil May Cry 4, I was adamantly saying, this game sucks. It's got really fun combat, but the game sucks. And it's like they literally were like, all those issues that DMC4 has, we're gonna try to fix that shit. We're gonna directly approach all those issues and give it the proper nurture and care, because a game isn't just its combat. Marvel Infinite can be the testament to that. A game isn't just its graphics, it's how the whole package comes together. And DMC4 is the perfect example of, like, if things aren't complementing each other, the game is just not fun. Even though the combat is a lot of fun, when they don't work together, it is unsatisfying by the end of it. And that was the way I felt about DMC4 when it came out, and I felt the exact same way when we beat the game again. So, and that's funny, that's the reason I think DMC3 is so much better, because as a full package, DMC3 is a way better game, with good pacing and good characters, and great action and great set pieces. Something DMC4 kind of lacked in many ways. DMC5 fixes all those issues, and that's the most fun part of this game, is that I enjoy running around and doing things with characters. I enjoy the way the characters are talking to each other. The music that's accompanying the action is so good. I love this game. I love it. I can't wait to play it again. And I think that's the best sign of a game when you play through it, is that you just want to go through it again and do all the cool shit. And there are 2 Devil May Cry games that make you feel that way. Devil May Cry 3, and now Devil May Cry 5. You want to immediately play them again and do even more awesome stuff on harder difficulties. So, I don't think I can give it any higher of a personal recommendation. They did it. They have done it in ways that I never thought they could. Congratulations, Capcom. You're back. Now, let's fix the fighting games, please.